starts right now.
Some good news for City of San Antonio homeowners.
Yeah, even though the value of your house may be going through the roof, city officials say their portion of your tax bill should stay the same or even go down this year.
Garrett Berger explains the tax break City Council passed just today.
I just want to show you my smiley face, a permagran again.
After years of pushing to raise the city's homestead tax exemption, District 10 Councilman Clayton Berry enjoyed a victory lap.
I'm happy not for me, but for our taxpayers, our homeowners.
3 years after City Council put the minimum $5,000 homestead exemption on the books, they raised it today to 10% of a home's value. They also bumped additional exemptions for senior and disabled homeowners up to $85,000 each.
All right, the City Council delivered today.
Because of a state-imposed cap on how much property tax revenue the city can bring in, it also plans to lower the property tax rate later this year. All combined, the city expects the tax relief measures to offset any bump caused by skyrocketing home values, at least for the city's portion.
Compared to last year on the city tax bill, they should not see any increase on their tax bill and may actually see a minimal reduction.
Though all 10 council members present voted to raise the exemptions, there was a common theme.
I wish we could do more.
I've wanted to do more.
I would like to see more, and I think we will see more.
The city can raise the homestead exemption up to as much as 20% of a home's value, and the city will likely pursue more property tax relief options at the state legislature. Garrett Berger, KSAT 12 News.
Council members also passed a new district map, which puts 39,000 San Antonians in a different city council district. After a decade of lopsided growth, there was just too much difference in the city's 10 council districts, so the map had to be redrawn. And it could happen again in a few years. With more than 1.4 million people in the city now, Mayor Ron Nuremberg says adding more council districts should at least be considered.
The Texas House Committee investigating the Robb Elementary shooting, getting more insight as to what happened on May 24th. Since this morning, the committee has heard from several witnesses from the Uvalde CISD, including the superintendent and the principal of Robb Elementary. Those interviews happening behind closed doors. Alicia Barrera is live in Uvalde outside city offices where day one of the hearings have wrapped up. Alicia.
Good afternoon. Well, other people that they spoke to were a custodian, the director of operations of student services. And that was the big focus today. And we had expected during the closing remarks to get some type of insight as to what they heard because these testimonies were given in private. However, the committee has decided that for now they won't be making a statement. Instead, they're going to be waiting to compile more information. So today was day one, and tomorrow they'll continue with those hearings. We're told they will make a statement at a later time. But the chair of the committee, State Representative Dustin Burrows of Lubbock, did say that all witnesses present today were being cooperative, transparent during this process, and they're allegedly also supportive of the committee carrying out their investigation, which Burrows says could lead to solutions for them and the community of Uvalde. But now the community gets ready for day two of hearings tomorrow. That is expected to start around 9 a.m. The witness list for that has still not been finalized. However, we did get some insight on that process. According to the committee chair, Uvalde CISD PD is being cooperative. They do plan to be present tomorrow. However, we were told that currently the big question is for the city's police department. The big question, will Uvalde City Police Department show up tomorrow on voluntary terms? That's what they're having trouble with. So the question is, what happens if they decide not to voluntarily come and give testimony? We do know that the chair of this committee does have the power to subpoena. However, there is some time. We're expecting to receive that witness list sometime tonight. And again, it'll be tomorrow around 9 a.m. when day two of these hearings continues. Live in Uvalde, Alicia Barrera, KSAT 12 News.
Still not a lot of information from those hearings, though. Thank you, Alicia. There are still a lot of questions lingering around that investigation because of the lack of information. One we're trying to clear up is which agency is actually leading the investigation. Reports have named multiple agencies and entities, including the Uvalde District Attorney Christina Mitchell-Busby. So we asked her directly today. She said the Texas Rangers and the FBI, saying she is not investigating anything. She's waiting on them to finish the investigation, which she believes will take 6 months or longer. Then it'll be handed over to her office. As for her asking officials like the DPS director to stop speaking out about the case, She says that was to try to protect grieving families from half-truths and inaccurate information.
Koala bears, the Dallas Cowboys, and dancing to TikTok videos. Those are just a few of the things we're told that 11-year-old Layla Salazar adored. She is the latest victim of that mass shooting at Robb Elementary to be laid to rest. Her family describes her as rambunctious and that she loved running and took great pride in winning races at the school's annual field days. And the San Antonio missions team is going to be wearing a new jersey tonight, paying tribute to the Uvalde Coyotes. At the end of the game, the jerseys are going to be auctioned off. All of the proceeds are going to go toward the Robb Memorial Fund. Camila Juarez is on the field right now. Can you show us the jersey, Camila?
Ursula, this is the Uvalde High jersey, maroon with Uvalde across the chest, and the Uvalde High team will be here in attendance to see their own jersey under the lights of a professional baseball team. Now, all the proceeds from this auction will go directly right back to Uvalde, and at least 36 signed jerseys will be available for auction tonight, each starting at $100. Phone bidding has been open since 10 a.m. Familiar players like catcher Chandler Siegel, Blake Bacher have already gotten bids, and pitcher Jason Blanchard says he's excited to use his platform for a cause close to his heart.
You're not excited about something like this. It's tragic, but just the same thing, guys knowing that we can make an impact and make some kind of light out of this tragedy, bring something good out of what happened, just knowing that we can do that. Everybody's pretty excited for the opportunity to make a difference.
Now, if you can't make it to the game, you can call the number on your screen. That is 210-449-9120. And the highest bidders will be announced at the end of the game. And coming up at 10, we'll have reactions from fans and how they feel about supporting Uvalde tonight. Steve, Ursula.
Thank you, Camelia. Now to your money. Your dollar just isn't buying what it used to when it comes to groceries. We did some price checking, as a matter of fact. We shopped for the same items we priced in December for curbside pickup at the very same store. Here's what we found. The same cart of groceries that cost $224 just 6 months ago now costs $15 more. And it's pretty much in every aisle.
Everything from the vegetables to the bread to the cereal, the milk, the eggs. Oh my goodness, the eggs, it's ridiculous.
So let's take some basics. We found milk up 42%, eggs up 16%, bacon costs 10% more, and coffee is up 9%. One of the biggest increases we found was oatmeal. It's up 58%. So when will the prices come down? Well, a lot of economists say it's not going to be anytime soon.
Meantime, housing prices in San Antonio also way up. And despite this week's interest rate hike, our market is not expected to cool off anytime soon. We spoke to a real estate service to see how that hike could affect potential home buyers. We're told the mortgage rate increase could take some new buyers out of the market altogether, but it's not necessarily a bad time to buy. And here's why. It's because this rate increase is expected to soften the market a bit.
And that means that sellers are not getting as many offers. So whenever you go out and you bid on a home, instead of competing against 27 other people, you're competing against maybe 2.
And Hawthorne says also it's now not the time to panic. We're not expected to see another housing collapse like we did back in 2008.
We've learned the name of this man killed this week in a single car crash on the southeast side, 32-year-old Genaro Aguilar. The accident happened just before midnight Monday near South Presa and Natchez Trail. At the time, police said Aguilar was speeding as he headed south on Presa when he hit the center median, lost control, crashed into a telephone pole. He was ejected from his vehicle. He died at the scene. No one else was hurt. Police are still investigating this crash.
More trouble on the road for one driver, now leading to even bigger problems for another. San Antonio police say a man is in the hospital with serious injuries after driving into the back of a broken down big rig. It happened on I-35 between Walsham and Eisenhower roads. Katrina Weber reports this crash also caused traffic headaches for people who are heading out for their morning drive.
Two trucks are all tied up after a violent middle-of-the-night meetup. The pickup plowed into the back of the big rig shortly after 2 this morning, according to San Antonio police. They say the driver of the 18-wheeler had pulled over on southbound Interstate 35 near Walsen Road after tires on his trailer went flat. For some reason, the 23-year-old man in the pickup wasn't able to avoid it and hit it. The big rig driver wasn't hurt, but it took firefighters and their heavy-duty equipment to free the man in the pickup from the wreckage. Even after all their investigating, police still don't know what made the pickup driver go off course and hit the big rig. But they say he suffered internal injuries and had to be rushed into surgery. Other drivers found out the hard way they were in for a slow crawl. During the investigation and cleanup, police shut down the outer lanes of I-35 for more than 3 hours, causing a major morning traffic backup. Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
Speaking of traffic, let's give you a live picture of what it looks like right now. This is I-10 and Probant, and you can see really in both directions things are pretty smooth going right now. But if you look at the little temperature number in the corner,
not so smooth.
Not so smooth.
No, it has been great today. The temperatures actually got up to 102. That's our official high now. You look out there, it's a little hazy too. We've had some of that dust around. That's starting to subside some, thankfully. The aquifer down 0.2 of a foot to 636.2. Not in a good situation there. And then the pollen count, mold is low at 120. But again, we had that dust around, so that may be causing you some sinus issues. Officially, 102 the high temperature. The low this morning actually in the 70s and no rain. So we don't expect any rain in the forecast. Things are going to stay dry. We're going to take a look at the drought monitor actually coming up.
Thank you, Justin. They are city employees who have put up with repeated harassment, sexual advances, even hair pulling from their male bosses. Now they're saying enough and that the city of San Antonio has to walk the walk.
They can't even practice what they preach. They treat us like cattle, like we have no rights because we're maintenance workers.
It is a Defender's investigation coming up in a few minutes.
In news around Texas, paddleboarders getting the credit for rescuing a Texas Parks and Wildlife pilot who crashed a small plane into Lady Bird Johnson Lake in Austin. The plane went down around 2 this afternoon west of I-35. According to the Austin American-Statesman, the plane was having some mechanical issues, forcing the pilot to try to land on the water. The pilot was the only person on the aircraft. Officials say he suffered potentially serious injuries and was taken to a nearby hospital. No other injuries reported.
The move the Bexar County Sheriff's Office is making after the Uvalde shooting, and Sheriff Javier Salazar in his own words on red flag laws. Hear his interview with our Stefania Jimenez tonight. Plus, unsavory discoveries in several San Antonio restaurants. The health department says their scores dropped from the 90s to the 70s. What inspectors reported behind the kitchen door tonight after Game 6 of the NBA Finals.
A 6-year-old little girl from Bolivia is on her way back to her home country with a normal beating heart and a future ahead of her. She was trapped from birth by poverty and a lack of expert medical care and was virtually sentenced to death. That was before a local group found her and brought her here to University Health.
6-year-old Merly Valencia Flores has a hug big enough to fill anyone's heart, and this doctor did his part to make sure that she could.
With her, because she's got a hole between the pumping chambers of her heart, over time she would have developed heart failure and lung disease.
Merly's mother, in fact, was told that she was likely to die before adulthood.
Ni podía dormir. It was very hard for her. At night, she couldn't sleep.
The hole in Merly's heart required specialized surgery and time to heal. Two things she's got now, thanks to this team.
Ahora sí, me siento tranquilo. But now she's very happy and she's very thankful with all of you because now she's good and she's going to grow up and going to be good.
The birth defect that could have taken Merly's life is just the sort of diagnosis that activates a nonprofit called Heart Gift, who identifies and facilitates families into U.S. hospitals like University.
A lot of these come from countries, obviously, that don't have the medical care or support, where it's very scarce or non-existent. It is our goal to be able to save those lives and keep on going.
And University Health has been great because they let us volunteer our services and they pick up the cost.
Part of the team is Merly's host family, which in this case is a San Antonio family that has gone through the same thing with their now grown-up son.
But he was born with multiple heart defects, and so I've always realized that he only had the opportunity to have the surgeries he had because of where we live. But yeah, I've always wanted to kind of give back to another family going through the same thing.
And so now it's time for Merle to return home to Bolivia and the future that now awaits.
She wants to be a doctor.
Very sweet little girl. Heart Gift has been around since around 2000. It's been providing life-saving surgery for 77 children so far in Texas and 600 kids worldwide.
Check out Sky 12. They are over Wolf Stadium as the Missions get ready to play ball tonight in those special Uvalde baseball jerseys that are still up for auction. But usually I love baseball. Not sure when it's 101 out or whatever our high was today that it's perfect baseball weather.
You got to find the shady part of the stands and stay there until the sun sets.
Don't envy the players either.
Oh, man, it's tough. And these numbers have just been incredible. We're not even to summer yet. I do have to remind you of that officially. Temperatures have been around 102 today here in San Antonio. That is, in fact, the official high. 104 Pleasanton, 105 Cotulla, 103 Del Rio. You get the idea. We've been here, seems like, for a month now. Yesterday was kind of the one day where we saw a bit of a reprieve thanks to cloud cover, but we're back in the 100s. We're likely there to stay. 15 days now of 100 degrees or above at San Antonio International. We are well on our way to possibly eclipsing some of these records. 59 100-degree days, what we saw back in 2009, 57 in 2011, and we're way ahead of schedule. So if things continue the way they are, we'll be right there. This is going to be one of those record-type summers, unfortunately, and not in a good way. The drought monitor shows us that drought is really starting to settle in. So that maroon color you see there, that is exceptional drought, and it's starting to creep into San Antonio. But a large portion of the hill country, Hondo, Uvalde, Pleasanton, Floresville, Karnes City, all within this exceptional drought area. And it is getting pretty bad here in San Antonio. It's hard to keep your lawn green these days, especially with the once-a-week watering that we have going on and the restrictions. Medina Lake, 15% full. We're down 62 feet. It's down 12 feet over the last 3 months. Pretty incredible. So we go outside for you. Some hazy conditions, still 100 degrees at the airport. Dew point is at 55, so that number's trying to fall a little bit with south-southeasterly winds at 11 miles per hour, gusting to 22. Current temperatures, 100 in New Braunfels, still 101 in Gonzales, still 100 in Carrizo Springs, still 105 in Cotulla. It'll be a slow cool down this evening, and a lot of places here around San Antonio still at or even a little bit above 100. Dew points, as we mentioned, in the 50s. That's not too bad, so you're not getting a heat index at this moment, but the dew points will start to increase as we get into tonight and into tomorrow morning. A little bit of cloud cover across the hill country, otherwise a lot of sun here in San Antonio. And as we zoom out some, we're surrounded by some rain. As you get out into Louisiana and parts of New Mexico and far west Texas, there are some showers and storms. I am watching this little area here around New Orleans. This little piece of energy will scoot west tomorrow, perhaps helps to generate a shower or two tomorrow afternoon southeast of San Antonio. I don't think it's going to be anything widespread. Most of us stay dry, but a lucky few could get a quick downpour. We're going to put in a 10% chance of rain. And the computer models show that during the afternoon, maybe one or two more showers popping up. Certainly not a drought buster. In the KSAT 12-hour forecast, 90 degrees by 9 o'clock. Again, that slow cool down, 81 at 1 a.m., 80 by 2 a.m., and then down into the 70s as we get into the morning hours tomorrow. Meantime, a lot of severe weather across the East Coast. Tornado watch boxes in place across parts of Pennsylvania and New York around this ridge of high pressure, which has been bringing a lot of heat not only to Texas, but the Midwest as well. Scoots around a little bit, moves north and south, but for the most part, still has a firm grip on our forecast, and it keeps things very, very warm. In the tropics, we're still watching some activity out in the Pacific and one little area here in the Caribbean, but it doesn't look great. Very disorganized. Hurricane Center is now only giving this about a 10 to 20% chance of development next few days. And it's not going to bring us any moisture. Things stay quiet and it stays hot. 101 Saturday, 102 Sunday, 101 Monday. Now we are going 99 tomorrow, so maybe a little bit below that triple-digit mark. And again, there's an outside chance of a shower, guys.
Oh, bring it on. Thank you.
Yeah. All right, let it be known, Jerry Jones has a boundary.
Yes, he does. And San Antonio doesn't have an NFL team, but the mayor of Dallas wants 2 NFL teams in Big D. And Jerry Jones has his response today. Not going to happen. We're coming back. Hear more about Jerry's response. And the Cowboys minicamp is cut short. Tell you why coming up.
Pro football coverage, powered by Davis Law Firm.
Cowboys owner Jerry Jones stating emphatically today that there will not be another NFL team moving into Dallas. Jones' statement to the Dallas Morning News comes on the heels of the Dallas mayor, Eric Johnson's invitation to the now Los Angeles Chargers to move to South Dallas. That's after a brother and sister fight looms over the ownership of the team. The mayor stating it's his job to grow the city's economy and that the region loves football so much it could certainly support a second team. Jones' response, you can rest assured that you would not have the NFL supporting another team because of the kind of value that the game and the NFL receives of having the Dallas Cowboys as one of its marquee teams. And again, logic tells you the NFL wouldn't want to water that down. And remember, many believe the reason San Antonio doesn't have an NFL team of its own is because of the popularity of the Cowboys in the Alamo City. The Dallas Cowboys mandatory minicamp is officially over. What started out to be a 3-day camp actually was only one, with day 2 changed to a group dynamic event, and the third day today canceled. The group dynamic event turned out to be a trip to Topgolf for a staff and player bonding moment. Today, head coach Mike McCarthy was asked about his decision not to take advantage of all 3 days.
I think the biggest thing is, you have a starting line and a finish line. I just felt like we crossed the finish line, particularly with the veterans. And really today's focus was just really spending final time with the rookies. They had their opportunity still to get the final lift in for this week, and just from that, just spend a bunch of individual time with the coordinators and the assistant coaches, and really, frankly, focus on the 5-week plan. That's what's in front of them.
Yeah, that's right, before training camp starts. Now, one of the big changes in the Texans staff this season, besides promoting Lovie Smith from defensive coordinator to head coach, has been the elevation of Pep Hamilton from quarterbacks coach and passing game coordinator to offensive coordinator. Part of the Texans' massive rebuilding project is making Davis Mills a better starting quarterback, and to build off his performance in the final 5 games of the regular season, where he led all rookies with a quarterback rating of 102.4. But the Texans also have to improve their red zone efficiency, which is the 6th lowest in the league. What are Hamilton's expectations of Mills?
You expect from year 1 to year 2, just any player, any quarterback in particular, to have a better sense of NFL defense. And that's going to allow him to process information faster and ultimately make better decisions.
Golden State Warriors have the opportunity tonight to win their 4th NBA championship in the last 8 seasons when they face the Celtics in Boston in Game 6 of the NBA Finals. That's after they became the first team to hand the Celtics back-to-back losses in this year's postseason, with the Game 4 win in Boston, 107-97. Then on Monday, the Game 5 win, 104-94 in San Francisco. But the Warriors are well aware that the Celtics have avoided elimination already 3 times during their playoff run this season.
Talented teams. You got talented players you're going against. You're in somebody else's building. It's just not easy to close anybody out in the playoffs. So there's no common thread. We're going to have to play really well to win. Simple as that.
Now, here is an interesting comparison when it comes to the 2022 playoffs that I've already alluded to. The Boston Celtics are 3-0 in elimination games this postseason. Compare that to Golden State Warriors, who are 0-3 in elimination games on the road.
Do whatever it takes to win. And that can look different from game to game. But we won all those games. And, I felt like, myself and everybody else did whatever it took. And, that's the mindset you got to have going into tomorrow. And then, hopefully a Game 7.
All right, Game 6 tonight, live right here on KSAT 12, starting at 8 p.m. And we'll see if we have a Game 7 on Sunday. I think we will.
It's going to be crazy in Boston tonight.
It will be. Yes.
Yeah. Thanks, Greg.
For almost a year now, the defenders investigated how female workers were treated by supervisors at a major San Antonio city-run building. The allegations and what we found out next at 6. Hair pulling, groping, sexually inappropriate behavior, as well as verbal attacks, all taking place inside one City of San Antonio building.
A nearly year-long investigation by our Dylan Collier found a pattern. Male supervisors in the maintenance department repeatedly targeting the women who work for them. And now
I'm a worker. I've been there for you for all these years, and you're letting me down.
These women speaking out in this defender's report, they say enough is enough.
Our story begins in the bowels of the Henry B. Gonzalez Convention Center last August. Surveillance footage captured near a loading dock shows maintenance employee Maria Villegas walking with coworkers when, for a still unexplained reason, her supervisor, Juan Cortez, grabs the back of her hair and yanks it.
It happened in seconds.
For Villegas, a domestic abuse survivor, the incident exposed old wounds.
I had buried it inside of me to proceed in life as a normal person. But when he did that to me, it just brought back everything. And I was right back where I was.
The assault resulted in Villegas being diagnosed with neck strain. Despite going to counseling, she now shows up to every shift with a feeling of dread.
I'm nervous where I get my stomach aches just being there.
A city spokeswoman noted Cortez's 19-year work history and no prior discipline when confirming the act resulted in a 5-day suspension. Cortez was also moved to another part of the convention center to prevent any further interaction with Villegas. But sadly, it's been far from her only negative interaction with a male supervisor. Just this month, building maintenance officer Gilbert Martinez resigned a day after Villegas said she went to Human Resources and made a formal complaint. She claims Martinez previously groped her in his office and sent her what she called filthy messages on Facebook, describing his genitals, asking to see her, quote, tamale, and writing that he, quote, wanted you to kiss on my hot dog emoji. City officials confirmed a complaint was filed against Martinez and that he resigned, but have not said why.
A second female maintenance employee who asked that we not name her described an incident early in her tenure in which a male supervisor followed her into a room without cameras and asked if she wanted to play a game, telling her to undo a button on her blouse every time he said a specific phrase out loud. She claims the city determined there was not enough hard evidence to find him at fault for rule breaking and that he too later stepped down.
He told me I could see her underwear because she had her legs open.
A third maintenance employee, this woman, asked that we not show her face and said she finally had enough of the sexual comments and the moaning and groaning coming from crew leader Robert Crespo. So she recorded him and filed a formal complaint. Personnel records show a day after Crespo was placed on administrative leave last fall, he resigned. The paperwork includes no mention of the reasons he was placed on leave or why he ultimately left his position with the city. It was just the beginning of her workplace nightmare.
I want you to go back there and do it again.
She described 3 separate verbal attacks in less than a month, directed at her by her most recent crew leader, each of them taking a greater and greater toll on her.
I was so stressed, emotionally stressed, and I threw up in my car.
In late April, after she says her complaints to upper management went nowhere, she went to City Hall to complain to the mayor and started crying. So what happened next? She says she was led to a meeting room that had employees from Metropolitan Health and other city departments. Concerned that she might harm herself, they eventually took her to a hospital.
And I realized, oh my God, they put me in the psych ward.
A city spokeswoman, citing privacy concerns, said she couldn't talk about the City Hall incident. The woman claims her emergency detention lasted several days. At last check, the crew leader accused of verbally assaulting her was still working for the city. None of the male supervisors mentioned in the story have been criminally charged in connection with the employee's accusations. And as for the city of San Antonio, this maintenance employee says,
they talk about core values a lot. Teamwork, integrity, innovation, professionalism. They can't even practice what they preach. A bunch of lies. It just looks good on paper. They treat us like cattle, like we have no rights because we're maintenance workers.
For the Defenders, Dylan Collier, KSAT 12 News.
The last woman that you heard from has not returned to work since that incident outside the mayor's office. And even when she's cleared to, she says she's afraid to go back. City officials refused to make management at the convention center available for an interview. In a written statement, Patricia Musquiz-Cantor, executive director of convention and sports facilities, said complaints of harassment and inappropriate behavior are taken seriously and promptly investigated, and that any employee who experiences or witnesses this type of behavior should report it to their supervisor or to HR.
A lot of bargain hunters are getting the announcement they've been waiting for, the days for this year's Amazon Prime Days. It's still to come at 6. Amazon Prime members have been waiting for this information for a long time now. The dates for Amazon's Prime Days. Mark your calendars. It's July 12th and 13th. The company says the big sale is going to kick off at 3 a.m. It'll run for 48 hours in several countries.
For the first time, that includes Poland and Sweden. You're going to be able to save on electronics, toys, things for the house, clothes, and a lot of other stuff. Amazon says it's a way to build loyalty with folks who have Prime and get new people to sign up. Last year, online spending topped more than $11 billion.
I'm thinking air conditioners, fans, that kind of a thing.
It would come in handy, that's for sure, Justin.
Those will be big sellers here in South Texas. There's no doubt about it. Another incredibly hot day, a hazy day. We had some of that Saharan dust in the atmosphere. You can still see it out there on Live Cam. We made it up to 102 today. Some of the weather headlines. Triple digits are back. We had a brief reprieve yesterday, back into the triple digits again today, and really for the foreseeable future. Dust thins out for now. We may see another batch coming in next week. We're also talking about some serious heat for Father's Day. How hot will it get and how hot will it be next week? That 7-day forecast is coming up.
Neapolitan ice cream sounds like a really good idea right now, but will it be your favorite flavor of Oreo? We're going to find out because Neapolitan Oreos are the latest limited edition cookie featuring triple layers of cream, vanilla, strawberry, and chocolate. How could you go wrong?
Now, instead of the typical chocolate Oreos, they're sandwiched between two waffle cone flavored cookies. The cookies go on sale next month. Oreo just keeps reinventing the classic. Last month, it gave away a limited edition mashup that was part Oreo cookie, part Ritz cracker. Not so sure about that one. Both brands, by the way, are, of course, owned by the same company.
Snacks are snacks. All right, there aren't many things that people can create a buzz about like Beyonce, and it looks like she has a new solo album coming out. The Beehive's going crazy. At least that's what all the signs are saying. There are a lot of signs, too. Social media blew up last night after a tweet from streaming service Tidal.
Yeah, Beyonce Renaissance, July 29th, above a black box with the words Act 1 Renaissance. Queen Bee's Twitter and Instagram also have the words Act 1 Renaissance along with the date, 7/29. Similar posts have popped up in other places too, including Spotify and Apple Music social media. The real clincher, you can pre-order the CD along with some other swag on Beyonce's website. I'm glad to know I'm not the only one that still has CDs.
He has 8 tracks too.
Yeah, well.
All right. We may not think about Fudge in the summer months, but there are a lot of people who do, and today is National Fudge Day, so you should be. The most familiar flavors are chocolate, chocolate nut, peanut butter, maple, and maple nut, but there are endless varieties.
All right, just check out the fudge counter at Buc-ee's for proof of that. The confectionery appears to have made its debut in the late 19th century when some businesses on Mackinac Island in Michigan started to sell fudge-like items to tourists. Some of those original shops on that famous island are still around and still making fudge. I don't have an 8-track player, but I did in my first car.
In your car?
My first car,
nice.
The 8-track player, you know, back in the day.
Nice.
I do have records though.
I have records.
Records and CDs.
So what's an 8-track?
I know exactly. I'll explain it to you later.
I've seen them. I don't really know how it
They're
works.
about this big.
Yeah. bringing it back. That's okay.
Yeah.
Excited for Beyonce stuff. That's cool. Hey, let's go outside for you because we do have some haze in the atmosphere. We've been monitoring the forecast air quality today. It's kind of gone back and forth, but for the most part, we have seen it rise to the unhealthy level for those who are sensitive to this kind of thing. The dust has bothered a few of us. Some folks tell me they've had some sinus issues and stuff like that. And if you have lung condition, this is definitely something you want to watch out for. Now, the good news here is this dust is starting to make its way out. And I think by tomorrow, we'll see a little bit less of it. And then certainly by the weekend, it'll be in low concentration. By the time we get into next week, the middle part of next week, it does start to try to make a return as another plume makes its way across the Atlantic and the Caribbean towards Texas. Month in review. This comes as no surprise, right? Every day has been above average. Our average temperature is 88.3, but the average high temperature is 100.1. So we're averaging above the century mark, and we're 6.4 degrees above average. If you remember, May was record setting. It was the warmest May on record. We're headed that way for June as well. It's been pretty incredible. We're not even officially into summer just yet. As we go outside for you, temperatures 100 degrees still at the airport, 102 Stinson, 100 Kelly, and sitting at 100 at Randolph. South-southeasterly winds have been in the range of 15 to 20 miles per hour this afternoon, trying to calm a little bit as we get into this evening. 105 Cotulla, 101 Hondo, 93 in Kerrville, one of the quote-unquote cool spots, 100 New Braunfels, 100 in Gonzales, and a little closer in here on Bexar County, 97 in Helotes, but 102 down there at Stinson and 100 over at Randolph, as we said. Mostly clear skies here. Now let's jump into the forecast and look forward into tomorrow. Will we see any rain? Well, there's an outside chance. A little disturbance comes in from the east, and this model does want to develop a shower or two. Anything we see will be few and far between, and it's not going to drop any significant rain. This is not important rainfall, but at least it's a little something. 10% chance is all we can give you, and that's during the day tomorrow. Probably best chance will be east of I-35. As we look across the country, there's a lot of heat. It's not just here in Texas, 99 Dallas, 99 El Paso, yes, but you go out to Phoenix and Vegas, they're up above 100. The cool spot continues to be up there around Seattle. In the 60s, still 66 degrees there. They've had a lot of cool temperatures and record lows up there. A lot of heat too for Chicago, St. Louis, up across the Midwest. And there are some storms trying to develop. On the east side of the ridge, high pressure, the ridge is what's keeping everything so hot, but there are some storms up there across parts of the Northeast. Forecast for us, 90 degrees by 9 o'clock, 86 by 10 p.m. And we'll see those temperatures slip down into the 80s by midnight, 82 degrees, 81 1 a.m., and then 80 by 2 a.m., into the 70s eventually by tomorrow morning. 76 to start with a few clouds around 6 a.m. We'll see lighter winds, but the winds will pick up again. I mentioned some of those storms up there across the Northeast. There we go. A little out of order here, but you see the tornado watch box for parts of Pennsylvania, some storms working in that direction, and some storms for the nation's capital. But that's all on the east side of this ridge, which is going to keep us very toasty. It's still very much in control of our forecast. And it moves back to the west a little bit, up to the north, down to the south, but it doesn't move enough. We really got to get something to push this out of the way, and there's just nothing there. So high pressure is really the dominant force in our forecast, and it keeps things very, very warm. So 99 tomorrow, that may be the one day where we slip below 100 degrees. There's that 10% chance for rain. But 101 Saturday, 102 Sunday for Father's Day and Juneteenth. Be careful if you're going to be outside. It's one of those days. 101 Monday, 101 Tuesday. You get the idea here. There's just not a lot of change in the forecast. A lot of times you look to the tropics this time of year, there's a few things trying to get going down there that nothing that's imminent or brings us any relief, guys.
Thanks, Justin.
In case you missed it, coming up next.
It is Thursday. It is June 16th.
What really happened inside Robb Elementary on May 24th? It's what a Texas House of Representatives committee hopes that witness testimony will provide answers to.
Today, there were 5 witnesses who shared their testimony, which was made in private. The committee heard from several Uvalde CISD administrators. And the day began with Robb Elementary principal Mandy Gutierrez speaking, and she was visibly emotional.
The pickup plowed into the back of the big rig shortly after 2 this morning, according to San Antonio police. They say the driver of the 18-wheeler had pulled over on southbound Interstate 35 near Walsham Road after tires on his trailer went flat. For some reason, the 23-year-old man of the pickup wasn't able to avoid it and hit it.
The question of who's actually in charge of the Uvalde investigation has come up a lot. Multiple agencies have been named, including the Uvalde District Attorney, Christina Mitchell-Busby.
She added she is not investigating anything, and she's waiting on the FBI and the Rangers to finish their investigation. That could take 6 months, likely longer, before passing it over to her and her office to be reviewed.
The Federal Reserve takes a bold step to tame what seems like relentless inflation and raises interest rates by 0.75 percentage point, its biggest hike in nearly 3 decades.
A Dutchman here is taking this journey, embarking on an epic 25,000-mile trek that started all the way in May. The Netherlands native, his name is Tom Bowman, is on a years-long mission to walk around the world. He's already walked for more than 400 days, and he's trying to become the first person to walk across all 7 continents on foot.
Before we go, we have some late-breaking news right now. The San Antonio Symphony is shutting down. The Symphony's board says it will file for bankruptcy, and a trustee will liquidate the assets to pay its creditors.
Apparently, the board's vote was a unanimous one. The decision to dissolve the symphony comes months into a musician's strike. We'll, of course, have more on this decision tonight on the Night Beat after the game.
Thanks for joining us.